Hi, and welcome to another edition of Race Stories / We Review Races with Billy and Sam. This is the Napa Valley Alpha Win edition. So we are going to review the race, and we're going to share race stories at the same time because this was a smaller race. So why don't you want to just knock out the race and go over that, and then we can do race stories. So if anybody's just watching this for interested in the race, then they don't have to hear our crazy stuff.
Sure.
All right, so check-in is at the race, but you do not have to do it until day of. So we did day of check-in.
Because it's in the middle of nowhere.
It is in the middle of nowhere. So this is a small race. I would call it a very small race.
The Ocala race was smaller, wasn't it? I mean,
No.
Do you think this one with less participants?
This
than this one?
definitely less participants, and
But they did it over 2 days.
Sorry, that's fair because we had Alpha Win did Ocala and Napa, opposite sides of the country, back to back, so weeks, within a week of each other. Very impressive. Kudos to pulling that off. Very well professionally done. But they chose here in Napa to do 70.3 and 140.6, so half distance, full distance on Saturday, and then sprint and Olympic on Sunday. Everybody's got their own thing, and so it made for a very compact race for us, or a very less number of participants. I'd call that the smallest race we've ever done as far as total number of participants given 2 races, blah, blah, blah.
No way. What was that race? There were 38 finishers. It was in Florida. Race for the booty.
Yeah. Yeah, but we were racing with sprint and Olympic people.
Okay.
I'm saying, yes, as far as the number of people on the road or whatever you want to call it.
I got you.
So, yeah. That part's interesting. So we'll get the swim here in a second because it didn't feel like that. So check-in's easy. Check-in's no problem. Alpha Win once again had brought the. They have the stands that you can set your bike in, which we really like. You have your own little bucket next to the stand or place for all of your stuff. They did not have the stools at this one. I don't know whether that was
because it was a gravel parking lot. I can see where people would fall. I mean, your stool collapsed on the regular parking lot, so I can kind of see.
Thanks for bringing that up. Apparently, we need to cover that.
For once, I got the very best transition spot you could possibly get at any race. It was on the end, and the exit was right in front of me, and I was the furthest row up towards the exit. Perfect. Except the parking lot was gravel. So bring your shoes.
Yes.
Either slides or tennis shoes or something to wear from the swim exit to your bike, because you will not be comfortable running on this gravel. I
talked to the race director, and I don't know, Billy must have been somewhere else, and they said, wear your shoes out of the swim. I said, okay. So I brought my shoes with me down to the swim.
I did not.
And
that was a mistake.
Yes, absolutely. This is a must. It is painful gravel all the way up. So I think we get straight into the swim.
This is cold.
This water is, if you're from San Francisco, balmy. If you're from anywhere but where you swim in ice water every day, it's very cold. Wetsuit legal. They had, I saw some caps and some boots. So.
I saw them wear gloves.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were allowed to wear gloves.
They were letting it go. So if you wanted to have, some sort of bathysphere around you, knock yourself out. Dry suit. So it was cold. Getting out of that water with sleeveless, I was frozen.
I mean, it's not the absolute coldest water we've been in. Austria has to take that for sure. But this was probably the coldest water in the U.S.
Yes,
we've ever been in for sure.
Yeah, and it's late April, so we've been getting used to warmer and warmer water. This was a shock. So in water start. And they had changed it day of to a 2-loop. It was supposed to be a 1-loop. Is that right?
I think so, but 2-loop was fine. It didn't.
2-loop was fine. The first 200 yards or 300 yards was just a mess.
Yeah, I mean, so the water's not deep enough is the problem for the first couple hundred yards. I mean, first of all, you're battling against everyone else because it's a mass start, and they're starting. It's a mass start with both the 70.3 and the 140.6. Granted, there was 100 people, 150. Was there even 100 people total?
No.
So I
even
mean,
close.
it's not the end of the world that it's a mass start, and I can see how they do it that way because I mean it's 100 people, but you are kind of swimming over each other, and then you get out 50 yards, 75 yards, and you're walking.
Yeah.
And it's not a good kind of walk either because the bottom is rocky, and so you're and it's like big rocks, and you're trying to
kind of like muddy.
Yeah. So swim to the left. If you stay to the left, you can probably swim the whole way. It's one of the things where I recommend if you can walk to catch your breath to do it, but not in this race. I mean, if you can avoid walking because you won't be comfortable.
You're losing time walking.
Yeah. But it's basically a triangle. You go around, you come back, do the second triangle, and then come back. I mean, kind of a oblong triangle.
So that's what it was. It was supposed to be a diamond for us. So 1 loop as a diamond, and they took the tip of the diamond out so they could have more oversight.
Gotcha.
Water was apparently a little rough, so that's where it changed to the 2-loop. So you could get either, but there was no difference.
And the water was surprisingly rough. When we started, it's really kind of smooth water close to shore, and then when you make that first turn, it's really choppy.
Yeah.
I don't know if just the wind comes in that one particular spot or something, but it was choppy all the way till you made the next turn. So be prepared for that. Even if it's smooth when you start off, when you make that first turn, it's likely going to be choppy. At least for us, it was choppy.
So you get out of the swim, you come up the ramp.
It's a long boat ramp.
It's a long boat ramp, and it's put on your shoes. Flats, shoes, something on your feet. Whatever you've got. Will make all the difference in the world. Come to transition, and then go over the bike.
Up out on the bike, and the first 5 miles of the bike, you will be miserable. And I say that in a honest, you will be miserable. Worst 5 miles of bike, like a worst 5 mile section of bike road we've been on.
I would say the worst 28-mile section.
Okay, wait. The first 5 miles is miserable.
Yes.
The next 10 miles is bad, and then
then
you come back that same 10 miles that's bad, and the same 5 miles that's miserable.
Yes, I give it the full 28 miles is the worst. 28 miles was.
It was 30, but yeah, it was that's probably the worst section, and I'm sitting there the whole time. First of all, I'm preparing my review. I'm like, don't bring your tri bike. There's no reason to bring it because you'll never get in your aero bars.
So you come out of transition and you're on a road to a boat ramp. So I don't have high expectations.
Yeah.
I don't blame them for that. But then we get onto a main
should
road.
Be a car road. Yeah,
it's a car road, but a main road, and it's just terrible. And then we went.
And then you make a turn.
And you've got just the nastiest climb of the day. So this is the worst climb of the day, and it's good because it's getting it out of the way.
Sure.
But it's terrible roads, and you're watching this as you're going up, so on your descent, it's not worth taking the chance.
Yeah, I would not use my aero bars on that descent.
No.
I mean, you're weaving in and out of potholes, and some of them are fixed, and some of them aren't, and the ones that are fixed, kind of have a mound, and so you're slaloming the whole way. And I mean, you do not want to be in your aero bars. I mean, And so anyway, that was my thing. I was like, all right, well, just leave your tri bike at home, bring your road bike, because it's mountain roads anyway. You get better off with your road bike. Then finally, after that, so it was an out and it was a back. After that 30-mile section, the aid station was at the turnaround, and then the next aid station was at the other turnaround. So you had 2 aid stations, right? I mean, there weren't.
No, you had. This was the guy off the side of the road.
Was it? I thought that was Florida.
That might have been Florida. Sorry.
Okay.
You had 2 aid stations.
I'm pretty sure it was just 2 aid stations. One at each of the turnarounds. You come back. It was not hot. And
no,
I mean,
gorgeous day.
And I don't think that's 2 aid stations was probably enough. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it's going to be the same temperature. I mean, it's San Francisco. It's not really doesn't ever really get that hot. So I mean, I think the 2 aid stations. I'm not taking off points for that. But you are now these crap roads. The scenery's beautiful. I mean, you're going through all these wineries, and you got these views of the mountains. I mean, it really is. So soak it in, because you're not fixing to set a PR.
For us, this is 22. They said there was a fire, 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. And so you've got all of these like burnt up trees, but there's tons of grass up underneath. So there's this beautiful green against these trees that are just, ember, ash, I don't know what to call it, burnt. But yeah, so it's really pretty. It was, a fantastic scenery, gorgeous ride. As far as the view goes, I thoroughly enjoyed that part of it. I mean, you're in Napa Valley. We knew we were going to be facing hills. The race director, when we were asking him in Ocala about it, said, "Man, the bike is hilly, the run is hilly. Hell, I think the swim is uphill."
It did the swim actually did, because you were swimming against the wind, so I think the
swim felt
it was a
uphill.
very slow swim for me for whatever reason. Anyway, so at the end of the 30 miles, you finish and you take a hard right turn. And when you take that hard right turn, first of all, be careful. I would have appreciated if they would have blown that sand off that was right there in the turn. But regardless, hard right turn. And you're going to be like, oh my goodness, these are the best roads I've ever been on.
Yeah.
I mean, they aren't the best roads you've ever been on, but after that first 30 miles, man, you're like, oh my goodness, this is great.
That's always frustrating to me when they have some good roads. All right, so they can do good roads. It's not that good roads are impossible, because it's not like the road was new. And they're just, hey, we just hadn't gotten to that section yet. Like, this road wasn't paved recently. It's just better.
Yeah, it didn't. The road in Ocala said they were going to pave it eventually. The road here, it didn't. There was no such plan. Go out, and then the same U-turn, and you come all the way back and into transition. And the roads were really good for the first, 5 or 8, 10 miles, and then they were okay. I mean, they weren't bad, but they were better than any of the other 30 miles. And then you made the U-turn and came back. And so, again, you're on this road. You're overlooking the lake. You got mountains on one side and the lake on the other, and so you can see the mountains on the other side of the lake. I mean, it's beautiful.
It's really pretty.
Come on back in, and you go through that. You have to get out of Arrow, and I mean, you'll know when you get out of Arrow because your bike will start going on.
Yeah.
And then you go up into the transition, drop it off, and head out on the run.
So the run is hilly. Yes. You took a left out of transition to go down the bike, and you take a right to go on the run. And it is an out and back double. And hilly is exactly the phrase that pays. I think what did we record? Over 1,000 feet.
Yeah, but I'm glad they didn't have the bike go that way, because those were bad roads too.
Yeah, they picked the better roads for the bike for certain. So I mean, it's an out and back. There's nothing complicated about that.
Yeah, and you do it twice.
Double loop, you can see it. You had
plenty of aid stations.
8 stations. Yeah, you had like one on either end and basically one in the middle. So you hit eight stations.
Yeah, it was 8, which we would normally want to see 12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we give highest marks for 12, but again, it's not hot. I think this was fine.
That
was the adequate number of aid stations. I don't think they needed to put any more, so that was fine.
No. So yeah, the guys, the volunteers at the middle aid station were a blast.
Oh, they were so much fun.
It was 2 teenage guys, late high school maybe. They were having a blast.
Oh yeah.
So that's always fun to see.
And you saw them 4 times because you hit it out and then back it out. I mean, yeah, they were having a good time.
Oh. So unless you're doing the full, in which case you got 4 loops out of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Bunch. Yeah. So then you came back. You did the finish line. They had finish line food or. Finish line snacks. Yeah, that'd be fair. Finish line snacks. And that's it as far as the race.
Yeah, you got a medal. You got so this is the medal. It's a decent size
ribbon,
and then
the medal actually matches the shirts. So, and kudos to actually, impressively working yourself.
Somebody used the exact same art.
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a tiny race. and I'm going to call it inexpensive given,
Yeah.
I think we were 180-ish.
The race itself inexpensive. The area not so much.
Yes, yeah. I have not been told what things cost. I'm afraid at what the bill's going to be at the end of this. But yeah, the hotel and rental truck.
I mean, you could
they were gonna be proud
camp.
of.
It was a park, and they had RV spaces. You could camp at the park, and maybe that would be cheaper. But the race itself, relatively cheap.
Yeah.
So typically you get what you pay for with that.
So
really well done. I mean, professional, plenty of volunteers, plenty of police.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really. I only had the one issue with the car that was too close.
So not closed roads, but not very busy roads
No,
either,
they weren't
which is why they were
busy, yeah.
terribly. I mean, that's why I'm sure they were crappy, is because
Nobody ever uses
Yeah,
them.
they're not frequently used. But all right. So you got a score for us?
Yeah, so, I mean, originally I was just going to be like, no reason for you to do this race. But now I'm kind of like, this is a cool race to do. The views were really good. I mean, you have to know what you're getting into for this. And if you want to go to Napa Valley, I mean, this is a really good way to kind of tour the areas. I'm not into wine. You're not into. We didn't do wine stuff. But if you're into wine, I mean, that would be a pretty cool. You do the triathlon and wine tours and all that. It'd be pretty nice. But I don't know. I'm gonna give it if 4 is average, are we doing 4?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a 5. The guys that did it, they put it on really well. It was a smaller race, but they didn't. I mean, we've been in smaller races where they skimped on stuff.
Yes.
And these guys didn't skimp on anything. I mean, the swag isn't the greatest, but I mean, you expect that with small races too. So I'm going with 5.
I think a 5 is fair for the race director and how he put on this race. I'm going to give the race a 3. Okay. Right. I mean, no offense to the race director and the quality of his races, because it was well done. But the race itself is just not great. I don't.
But I mean, you do get the tour. I mean, you get to tour Napa Valley. Are you recommending that people not do the race?
I would not recommend this race.
Okay.
Yes, do other of their stuff. They've got some really great races. I just don't think this is one of my favorites. So it's 3 for me. But to each their own.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to work on hills. It's a great opportunity to work on stuff. But that's where I am.
All right, let's talk about the race. So if all you wanted to know was about the race itself,
That was it.
we're done.
All right.
If you want to hear about our experiences in the race, let's talk about it.
All right.
So let's talk about travel to start off with. All right, so we flew into San Francisco and then drove to Napa, stayed in a hotel in Napa, and then the race itself is in Napa Valley, which was, 30-40 minutes away?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good little ways away, but I mean, there was nothing there.
There was
I mean,
nothing,
if you didn't want to camp, then there was nothing there. So
Delta. This was the one. I got an email from Delta at like 10 a.m. Your flight, my flight leaving Jacksonville wasn't going to take off until after the flight to San Francisco was going to leave.
so
I was so excited. I was getting that first class upgrade on the way to San Francisco. I was really excited about it. So I called the Delta line like, hey, I need to be in Napa tonight. And the lady's looking it up. She goes, oh, well, if you can start heading for the old airport, we can get you on the flight to Detroit, and then from Detroit to San Francisco. Okay, as long as I'm going, I don't. So this is a continuation of the problems in Atlanta. I don't know what's going on, but as of this moment, Atlanta was having issues. So
yeah, the Atlanta airport was a lot less busy this week. It looked, and the check-in counter, there weren't as many long lines. So it looks like they've about got it fixed. But whatever the issues were the week before, just kind of bled over. I think they weren't ready for spring break, or that the whole air traffic control thing in Atlanta just killed Delta, because I mean that's their big hub. So anyway, so Sam ends up on so we're on separate planes.
yeah, so I missed out on my whole plush experience all the way up.
Did you not get first class for any of it?
No.
Oh man.
No, I was happy. I was on an airplane. I was happy.
I don't think I did either.
Did you not get it?
I don't think I got first.
Well,
class.
that makes me feel better.
Yeah. So certainly didn't get it on the way home. But I'm going to step back a couple of days. And for whatever reason, I've been in charge of domestic travel.
Yeah.
Or domestic accommodations.
Accommodations and
rental cars or whatever. I try to mess that up every time, and if I mess it up bad enough, maybe Sam will take it over. I don't know. The problem is from here on out, it's all international, so I don't have to worry about it anyway. So this is my last time. This is my last time that I could have messed it up.
I don't know. You got us rooms in Chattanooga?
No, I do not. Charlotte did rent us. I got one.
We're going to cuddle.
So this is like Wednesday. We're leaving, what, Thursday, Friday? I don't know. We're leaving Thursday. Okay, so maybe this is Tuesday. I'm like, all right, well, now it's time to get a hotel.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, I'm picking out the hotel. Everything's expensive. I'm looking for cheap stuff.
Yeah,
there was a Motel 6 option. It was not in Napa. It was in like a city northeast of Napa, which was like 10 minutes further to the race.
Okay.
It was further from the airport. But anyway, 10 minutes further. Sam's not going to want to be in the Motel 6. I mean, we're going to Napa. We may as well stay in a Napa hotel, right? So when you sorted all the hotels by price, mind you, when I'm booking for me and Sam, minimum 6, right? If Sydney
3 out of 5 stars.
If Sydney or Charlotte's there, I 7. If Jennifer's there, we got to do 8 or above. But all of them within like $10 of each other.
Yeah.
So this one was a 9.
Wow.
I know. I've never booked a 9 before.
Wow.
I mean, 9 out of 10 is the rating or whatever. All right, well, let's book it. So I booked it, and I got a little bit better rate for prepaying. So I went ahead and prepaid, which means that you can't cancel. I mean, it doesn't matter. We were doing the race anyway. Why would I want to cancel?
Yeah.
All right, got that all squared away. All right, let's go get a rental car. There were no rental cars. And when I at the San Francisco airport, and when I say no rental cars, I'm like, there were 0 total rental cars. No economy, no mini, no maxi, no luxury,
nothing.
Not a single rental car. 0. Huh. That's not cool. What's going on? We've done U-Haul before.
Yeah, where's the local
Is there a U-Haul place? The problem is we're not getting, our flight arrives at 11 p.m., meaning the soonest that we can get a rental car, 11:30, and that's kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
There's not a U-Haul in the world open at midnight. Okay. Well, so what if we just get a hotel room near the airport for the night and book the next morning? No. Nothing. All right, well, let me widen the search to all of San Francisco. So I widen the search to all of San Francisco. Now there's an economy car, which I don't even know if our stuff would fit in it, but it's in some like rental place in San Francisco, not near the airport. So you'd have to Uber to it and Uber back. And I don't even know if it would fit. I'm like, well, that's at 9 a.m. And as soon as we can pick it up, it's 9 a.m. the next day. Well, dang, I've already booked this hotel for 2 days. I paid for it, and it wasn't cheap. I'm like, all right, now what? And then I remember there's this, because I'd seen it on a message board or something. There's basically an Airbnb for cars. It's called Turo, Turo. And so I get on it, and I'm like, oh, they got cars. And then will they bring them to the San Francisco airport? Well, there's some people on Turo that will bring them to the San Francisco airport. First one I see is like a 2006 Jeep Wagoneer or something like that. I mean, so Turo, I think it was originally started for like cars that you can't get from a rental company. So like a sports car or an exotic car, or something that somebody has.
Or a 2006 Wrangler.
Yeah, I mean a Tesla, stuff that rental car places don't normally have that you would want to rent that would be different. But I think it's kind of turned into anybody can rent their car, and so they do. So this 2006 Jeep Wagoneer, and I'm like, oh, and man, it was cheap.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let me get on this.
We're about to sleep in this.
Yes, sir. This thing, I mean, because Jeep Wagoneer's big. I mean, 2006, who cares? I don't care. It's got 200,000 miles on it. See, it's get us back and forth to the race. And so you have to You have to register for. I had never rented through Turo before. I didn't even know the process. So you have to register, and you have to get the app, and you have to do all this other stuff. I'm like, this is a lot of trouble. I'm gonna go get dinner. So we go get dinner while it's supposed to be sending me this email and stuff. And then at dinner, I'm looking at it, and I get all my stuff, and I get it all set up, and the Jeep Wagoneer's still up there. I hit the rent or whatever and put in the dates. Sorry, this car's no longer available.
Dang.
It was significantly cheaper than any other option that got delivered to the airport. So I guess somebody else figured out that they needed it too, or either the Jeep guy figured out, he was like, oh, this thing's too cheap. Whatever. Ended up, we got Mac let us use his 2022 Toyota Tacoma that still had the dealer tag on it.
Dude,
thank you, Mac, because it was immaculate.
Fresh out of the dealership. I was like, oh man, we're gonna get this thing sweaty.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
So then booked it. Then we had a rental car. I didn't really know how it would work. How it ended up working was he brought it to baggage claim.
Yeah.
So you walk out of baggage claim and there's
there.
the car for you. And I mean, so much more convenient than the rental car, because you have to, for the San Francisco, you have to get on a shuttle, go to the rental car center, and get the rental car. I mean, it was wonderful. So anyway, highly recommend that if you can do that.
Yeah, Mac's 5 stars.
Yeah, Mac was 5 stars. So finally we're on, and this was it. He brought it at 11:30 or midnight or whatever. Yeah. So we hit the road, and it's hour, 2 hours.
Yeah,
hour and a half.
Yeah, 90 minutes.
To the hotel. Get to the hotel. We had already called them, told them we were coming in really late. And that guy was just thankful that we weren't coming in at 4 a.m. as opposed to 1:30 or 2, whatever time we got there. The hotel was nice.
That was a 9.
Yeah, it was definitely a 9. So anyway, next morning, get up, and the next morning, so we got in so late that the next morning's check-in and stuff, if we wanted to do it. Well, I mean, check-in's 45 minutes away. I mean, you're talking about an hour and a half to get there and get back, and you only had to check in the morning of. So we're like, all right, well, we're gonna see what we're gonna do. We filmed, and we're touring. We talked about touring around Napa. Well, the first thing we look at is we're out there, and the police have this guy pulled over, and so we're sitting there. I mean, are we on the top floor?
Yeah,
I don't know, third or fourth floor or whatever, and we're kind of looking out, and we're just kind of sitting there watching the cops, and they're this guy on a bike. I don't know, they're searching his backpack and all kinds of other stuff, and then one of the cops turns and he looks up at us.
He's looking at us,
and we're looking at him, and I didn't know that he could see us, but he starts to wave.
So we wave back.
So we're like,
They got a good chuckle out of that.
Yeah.
We were just singing the Cops theme song with the bad boys. What you gonna do? Oh, man.
So, what did we do in Napa? We didn't do any wine.
So we had breakfast. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Hotel comes with breakfast, or there's breakfast available. Continental breakfast or something is what they called it.
Yeah. So when we're checking in, the guy's like, breakfast is over here, and we're like, all right. So
cool.
So we didn't know if we were gonna wake up in time. They served it till 10:30 or something. We woke up and we're like, oh, okay, well, let's go down and get breakfast. Yeah. So we go down and get breakfast. It's a buffet.
Yeah.
It's a really nice buffet breakfast.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how to call that, like a dressed up Holiday Inn breakfast, because it's still all of the same things, but I mean, there's like the bacon was extra thick and extra crispy. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, and they had patty, sausage, link sausage, and bacon. They had eggs, a couple of different ways.
Egg whites, and both scrambled.
They had like several, like maybe they have grits and oatmeal. And, I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff that you could pick
the
from.
standard. I mean, that's all the standard fare for.
There wasn't the make your own waffle thing.
Yeah,
but I think they did have some pancakes or waffles or something you could get.
You could order. Yeah, that was not on the. Okay. That was not in the thing.
Whatever. So I mean, we're getting our plates and we go sit down.
There's nobody there. Yeah.
This couple comes in and sits down next to us and says, the guy seats him or whatever, and he was like, "Would you like a menu or would you like to get the buffet?" And we're like, menu? We didn't have a menu. We didn't even think about this. And so they asked him, and they were like, was the buffet complimentary? Well, no, sir, the buffet's not complimentary.
Yeah, it's like $17.
We were eating our food. We were like,
Ouch!
That wasn't included with the price of the room, man.
We're about to eat
$20
all of the food. You're about to eat a whole pig.
Oh, so when you book the nicer hotels, the breakfast is not included.
May not be complimentary. So we've got a sweet spot of stars, apparently, is where we need to kind of dial that in.
Oh, goodness. So, anyway, we put our bikes together. We don't even put our bikes together until the next morning.
No, we
didn't put them together because we had a truck.
Then we had a hamburger at, come up with the place?
It's the real famous place for out west. Yeah, I'm going to say Five Guys, but that's not what it is.
So lightning
Jimmy
has
Jack's
struck our brain.
Yeah,
we're actually fried. So yes, we had a delicious California hamburger, and then we just kind of rested, hung out for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
we did not really. I mean, we drove through Napa.
There's not much in there.
We were not super impressed with the town. I'm sure we were missing whatever tourist stuff there was.
I mean, if you did winery stuff, you could do a wine tour. We weren't going to do that. All right, so we get up the next morning, or super early, and checking out with the same dude who checked us in the night before, and we're checking out because our flight leaves that night after the race. So we check out, and he was like, "Oh, y'all are leaving?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, we sure are." Have the bikes in the back of the truck, head out, and we're looking for a truck stop shower for the way home. So, I mean, it's dark, so we didn't really pay that much attention, but we're like, this is an interstate type deal. I mean, a big highway that we were on, there were no trucks. As we found out later, there were 0 truck stops.
So between Napa Valley and San Francisco, there's not one. That's apparently we do not have truck stops in Napa Valley or San Francisco. There were truck stops to the north. There were truck stops to the south. But between Napa Valley and the airport, 0.
So we get there, we check in, we have plenty of time. I mean, we're basically sitting around. I go walk around. It's kind of chilly. I go walk around and get some pictures or whatever before the race because, I mean, we're bored.
Yeah.
But Sam finds out that you need the shoes, and I don't. And as I'm walking around, I don't find out that I need the shoes. Anyway, we start the race. You got any race stories?
No, I see you on the bike.
So
I think I saw you like 10 seconds in.
You did not know, man. I didn't pass you.
You go.
I didn't pass you until after we got on the good section of road.
That's true.
That was 30-something miles in.
Yeah, that'd make my stories fun.
Well, because I stopped to take pictures.
Oh, did you?
So, I mean, this is a miserable bike ride, but the views are wonderful, right? So I had taken my phone with me because I knew that it wasn't going to be a PR race. And I was like, I'll stop and take pictures. I'm doing the photo shoot with my bike or whatever. Yeah. People are asking me if I'm okay. Yeah, I'm all right.
I saw the pictures. I wondered where you had done that picture on the race. On the course is actually the answer, and that's funny. I don't care who you are.
I stopped 4 times for 4 different photo shoots with the bike.
And he still caught me at mile 36. I just want that on video.
It was, I don't remember how many times I'd stopped. I think I'd stopped twice before I caught you and then twice after I caught you. But anyway, it wasn't going to be a PR race. And they were beautiful views. I mean, if you wanted to give people a sense of why you should do this race, it's because of the views.
I'll give you that.
So I had a good time stopping on my bike and doing a photo shoot.
Yeah, and I didn't hate this bike like I do Blue Ridge. Oh, I can't tell you why. I mean, we'd have to review the Blue Ridge video, but I really have lasting memories of just hatred of that bike.
Because it was. I'm gonna tell you exactly why you hated it. Because first of all, it took you 45 minutes to do that climb, and second of all, at what they had was basically a king of the mountain. I don't remember what they called it, but they had a timer at the bottom and then a timer at the top, right? but the timer at the top
was not
the top. So you went through that,
like,
and you kind of go over a hill, and you're like, oh, finally, I've made it to the top. No, you got another 10 minutes to climb it.
Or longer for some of us.
Yeah. So that's why you hated it, was because, I mean, and then once you got to the top of Blue Ridge, you were on Blue Ridge Parkway, and it was closed, and that was really cool. But you were already mad at the anyway.
Yeah.
So this one,
gone too bad.
The climb, it was a pretty tough climb to get up, but it wasn't terribly long.
Yeah.
And the roads were crap, but I mean, once you got used to the crap roads, anyway. So yeah, that's kind of where I was at with that. I mean, I really was planning on telling everybody, if you do this race, bring your road bike, but really,
it's close.
Don't do this race.
It's still close. Don't do this race. Instead, just skip it and go to the wine tour.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I really was frozen and chattering, getting out of the swim.
I was a little dizzy actually.
Yeah, it was.
I had to hold on to something. I don't know what that is.
It was kind of cold.
Cold.
So anyway, I get back into transition, and I mean, I knew Sam couldn't be that far behind me, so I wait on him, and we do the run together.
There was a lot of walking. There was no rush, so I was like, man, just not feeling these hills. So there was a lot of walking.
So we finished, and we weren't in a hurry, but
we were talking, hanging out.
Yeah, because our flight didn't go off until later that night. We had plenty of time to get there, but we're looking for a place to take a shower, and so the campground didn't have any place. We could have gone in the lake, and I really thought about that. Then it was like,
he had this plan, let's review this, of us going into the lake, scrubbing with whatever we had on in that frigid water. That was the plan.
Maybe it had warmed up by that time.
Yes.
Anyway, we didn't do that. So we're like, all right, well, let's see if we can find a truck stop shower. In the meantime, Charlotte had looked, and for the first time since we've been doing this, Delta in San Francisco, of all places, had opened their showers in the lounge. So if we could make it to the Delta shower, then in the lounge, now, mind you, the Delta shower in the lounge is past security. So you check in, drop your bags off, go through security, so we're still in our tri suits. Anyway, we're like, there's no way we're going to make that. You had to be there by whatever time. We're like, we're never going to make it. So we're taking apart bikes.
50% of us are saying that.
You were not rushing to take apart your bike.
I was not.
I mean, I was, yeah. And we took apart our bikes, finishing up, cleaning up everything.
Yeah, but we weren't thinking about the lounge until...
I mean, the whole time I'm thinking there has to be a truck stop between here and San Francisco. Sam's already looked on his phone. He's like, man, there's not a truck stop between
here.
That
didn't happen.
And Sam, I think, was perfectly okay with just doing the wet wipes.
Yes. I had accepted it.
And we've done that before, but I wanted a shower. So we get in there and we plug in the address of the airport in the GPS, and it says we had the showers closed at 7?
7.
We had to be there. The GPS said we'd be there by 6.
Hey, we can make it. That's possible.
Well, let's go. So we take off, and I'm like, there's no way this is going to work out because we already worked out with Mac. He's got to get him his truck. I'm giving the reasons why it's not going to work out.
Yeah, Billy's got, all right, so the first thing we're going to fail is because Mac's not expecting the truck till like 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
We weren't in a rush.
Yeah.
So let's see if Mac can meet us early. All right, so text Mac. So we're letting that cook. All right, what's the next problem?
We got to stop and get gas. I mean, we got to stop and get gas. We got to get the luggage. We got to check in. We got to get through security and get to the lounge. All this by 7 o'clock.
So meanwhile, Mac texts back like, "Hey, dude, just leave it in
short-term
parking.
Let me know where."
Boom.
Which was perfect. Thanks, Mac.
Yeah.
So all right, fine. Let's go. We'll stop and get gas close to the thing. So we get
change
gas.
the way you rent cars. That's amazing.
I know, man.
Yeah. So
we get gas.
Go to get gas.
And now we're at 6:15, 6:18.
Getting gas, like opening up the suitcases so that we're not checking in and just straight tri-suit.
Yeah, I put on a shirt and some pants.
So I put on a shirt. I still had the tight spandex. That's how I was going to do it.
Sam wanted the people at check-in to know that he really needed a shower.
Yeah, because I had this spiel planned about how I can stink on your plane, or you can allow me to take a shower.
in the meantime, we've called the Delta Lounge to confirm.
Yeah.
And like to see if we can put our name on the list.
Yeah. Hey, is there a list? You know, what do we need to do?
And she's like, it's first come, first serve.
Closes
But
at 7.
you need to be here by 6:30.
Oh, what? That's gonna be a little tight. Our 6 o'clock estimate did not include gas.
Yeah, and I mean, we were pushing it to get there by 7. I mean, if they closed at 7, then we figured maybe 6:45 we can get a 5 or 10 minute shower.
Yeah.
No big deal. So we get to the airport, and it took a little while to find a parking space.
Oh dear Lord, that was a mess.
I mean, so we get to the airport at the right time, and then it says go to level 1 or whatever, and so we
Yeah,
go to level
4.
1.
We started at 4, and then we worked our way down to 1.
level
Yeah.
1. Finally found a parking space.
Yeah.
Then you gotta get the stuff out. We gotta take pictures of the truck because that's how Turo wants you to
Turn it back in.
Is you take pictures to show there was no damage. So we do that. I'm texting Mac, telling him where the truck is. In the meantime, Sam's taking off, going to start to try to check in. So we get to check in pretty much at the same time, and
Yeah.
we're wondering if they're going to let us check in at all because we were there like 5 hours early.
Yeah.
And so he's immediately like, hey, we're trying to get to the showers, and they're like, oh, the showers are open. And
Yeah,
we're
that
like,
dude was
get there by
stoked. They didn't
6:30.
even question anything else we had said. Done. Okay, done. I can take a shower now.
So they got us checked in pretty quick, and we're headed through security, and we've got clear, which ended up probably taking longer than if we just would have gone through the regular line.
Yeah. Also, pro tip: if you have clear and there is no line for either, then just go regular pre-check. Like that's actually faster than stopping for the clear.
Yeah. So did that. We're going through security. And we're waiting on our luggage to come through. And we're kind of like, come on. And Sam's like, go ahead, take off, man, take off. And I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? He's like, you go ahead and go and get us in line for the thing.
Because we've got our bags as theoretically checked luggage, as carry-on luggage, because we're going to need them.
Oh, yeah, we need the clothes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And I was like, oh, you go ahead. I'll get the bags. You go ahead and go. So Sam, I mean, he's in his tights and
I'm
shirt.
already in form.
And he's running, and the lounge is not closed.
No.
It's actually kind of a good way
It's a
down
ways
there.
away.
So I'm stuck here. I've got like 4 bags
you
that
got
I'm trying to get.
A backpack plus 2 roll-alongs.
And I'm trying, so anyway, so I ended up getting there. He had to wait in line to get in the lounge.
There was a line.
I get there right behind him.
So I got into the line at 6:35. Oh, come on. All right. Let me just go ahead and get my knees ready for the begging that's about to occur. So the first lady, like, hey, I was in line at 6:30, but I went shower. She gets me checked in. It's like, go to the lady upstairs. Basically,
Okay.
I don't want to tell you no. You can go deal with it upstairs. Go upstairs. Hey, we were in line at 6:30. All right, we'll be fast. We will be out before 7, I swear. She's like, well, I could only give you 1 shower. Okay. No problem. We got 10 minutes between the two of us. We can
She
do
was like,
this.
yeah, you could only take 15 minutes. No problem.
No problem.
We got it.
We can do this. We're on. I was going to agree to whatever she said.
So we start heading back, and she's already. Then she asks the clean ambassador, the guy that actually
dude
cleans
cleaning the shower after.
She was like, hey, these guys want to take a shower. And he's like, oh, no problem.
Yeah, no worries.
And when she asked him, I was like, we got to go through another layer of asking because she's already told us that we could and put her name on the list.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no problem. And so he takes us back there, and he tries to unlock one, and it wouldn't unlock. And so he unlocks the other, and Sam goes in there. And of course, he knows we got 15 minutes, and so he's in there, and he's about to go. He's about to clean off. Then the guy goes over and unlocks the other shower. And I'm like, oh, well, she said we can only have one. He's like, you can have 2. No problem. And he's like, and you can take longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He was like, they don't close till 7, and we had like 20 minutes, I think. He was like, take longer. I was like, oh, thank you so much. I mean, he was like, I'm not fixing to go home. You do whatever you want. Anyway,
we saw him like 3 hours later.
Yeah.
I have no idea why their showers close at 7, but we got to take a shower. So I hear my phone rings or there's a knock on the door. I'm already like halfway in the shower at this point, soaked up. Nothing's happening.
I was trying to tell him that he could take a little bit longer if he wanted to.
So then I hear some bumping around next door. I was like, oh, Billy's good, but let me still see if I can get out of this thing as quickly as I can. It took me 12 minutes. I could not do it in 10. But
so for future reference,
notes.
It's 12 minutes
12
for the
minutes
shower
is
to be.
what
And
you
I mean, because it's not like you could. I mean, you have to be fully dressed when you come out. It's not like you're in a men's bathroom.
Yeah, I was buttoning my shirt on the way out. So yeah, I was doing it as if I could. But yeah, that dude absolutely hooks us up. Delta showers, not the shower head at the truck stop shower is the greatest thing in the world. I mean,
the water pressure and the amount of hot water that you get out of the truck stop shower.
It's just awesome. You can scald yourself and I'm sure deep clean in there. So nothing will ever beat that. But the towels for Delta were like clouds. It was incredible.
The Delta shower. I mean, we've always had a really good experience with Delta showers. They're really nice.
I miss those.
Yeah. So, and they're open in Atlanta now too. So,
are they?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had a long flight. It's a great opportunity to take a shower. So highly recommended.
We finished and we have like 4 hours in the lounge to sit there and do nothing. And finally, we
booked trips.
Yeah, we never got the upgrade, right? Because this one just had first class seats.
Just had first class, no pods.
Didn't have the pods. Didn't get the upgrade. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, got back and no issues. Do you have any issues getting back to Jacksonville?
No, made it home just fine.
No canceled flights or anything?
Nothing, no problems. So that was good. So stay tuned next week for Brazil. We got any other stories?
I don't know. I don't have any other stories.
All right. So after that race, we got a week off, and we are right now in Brazil. So Florianopolis, I think is how we pronounce it. We speak neither Portuguese nor Spanish, as it turns out. So really, we're worthless, but we're having a great time.
Spanish, you would think Spanish here would be a little more useful, but it's not. They speak Portuguese. So stay tuned for race review and race stories from Brazil. Thanks so much for watching, guys.